China abolishes the country's one-child policy and announces all couples will now be allowed to have 2 children. General manager Alex Anthopoulos and the Blue Jays part ways after the team's first playoff run in 22 years. And only months after having major cancer surgery, Rob Ford announces doctors have found a new tumor on his bladder. Hi, and welcome to Humber News. I'm Alex Drobin, coming to you from our newsroom here at Humber College North Campus. China is getting rid of its famous one-child policy. The Communist Party ruled in favor of easing its family restrictions policy today. Chinese couples will now be allowed to have 2 children. Chinese President Xi Jinping says the move is meant to ease strains on the economy. The country says that there are too few girls and not enough young people. China's one-child policy was introduced in the late 70s to curb population growth. The Communist Party says allowing couples to have 2 children will compensate for the aging population. Here at home, about a week since the Blue Jays playoff run ended, fans have more bad news. General manager Alex Anthopoulos is leaving the club after turning down a 5-year contract extension. Anthopoulos was an integral part of the Jays' success, completing trades for David Price, Josh Donaldson, and Troy Tulowitzki.
And that man right there, Evans, pitching in some clutch game. Did you hear what the fans were cheering to him? They were saying, "Thank you, Alex."
Jays fans have taken to Twitter since the story broke, with some acting out against team owners. AA's departure comes after club president Paul Beeston finished his tenure. Beeston was replaced by former Indians president Mark Shapiro. Anthopoulos will not partner with Shapiro, and Blue Jays say that AA is reluctantly leaving the club. Warrants have been issued for the arrest of 2 members of Brazil's Pan Am soccer team. Police say that Andre da Silva Ventura and Lucas Domingues Paezan are accused of sexually assaulting a woman in Toronto during the games.
Andre da Silva Ventura has a Canada-wide warrant out for him, and he's back in Brazil as far as we know right now. Because we don't have a treaty with Brazil, we'll have to go through the extradition process. But we will be working with all law enforcement officials across the world so that when he does travel, especially being part of an international team, we'll be notified of his movements.
According to Toronto police, the men met a 21-year-old woman at the Drake Hotel on Queen Street West on July 25th. Police say the complainant told them the players returned to their home, sexually assaulted her after she fell asleep, then fled. In response to complaints from public about interactions with the police, Ontario's Liberal government is proposing new regulations that would outlaw the random stopping of citizens by police, also known as carding. Under the new rules, police would have to provide a written record for any incidents involving random stops and must inform people that the stop is voluntary. In a news conference Wednesday, Community Safety Minister Yazir Naqvi called the rules fair and rights-based.
And it was clear, speaking to our communities, speaking to civil libertarians, and talking to police, that type of practice should never take place.
Naqvi says there will be a 45-day period of public input before any changes are made. And now to the trial of Constable James Forcillo, charged with second-degree murder in the death of Sammy Yatim. The expert witness who testified yesterday is being cross-examined today. The expert, who used 3D models to recreate the crime scene, testified that Forcillo was almost 15 feet away from Sammy Yatim at the time of the shooting. But the defense today argued that the margin of error in the analysis shows that Yatim could have been closer than suggested. The defense argues Forcillo didn't have the technical data to determine the threat before firing 9 shots at the 18-year-old. Turning to City Hall, Rob Ford is back in hospital after a tumor was found on his bladder. The former mayor had suffered health problems since leaving the office. A year ago, he was diagnosed with a rare cancer after months of rehab for alcohol and drug addiction. Surgery to remove the cancer seemed to have been successful, but yesterday the councillor got more bad news. His brother Doug says he was experiencing severe pain, and tests found a tumor on his bladder yesterday. Doctors have not determined whether or not the tumor is malignant. While the current mayor struggles to fulfill his transit promises, the TTC Commission announces that the sue Bombardier for $50 million after it failed to deliver the city's streetcars. The company won a contract to provide Toronto with upgraded streetcars about 5 years ago. It promised more than 200 cars, but to date has only delivered 10. Mayor John Tory says this will have an impact on thousands of people and on the economy. And a trial is finally underway in Toronto after a murder case went cold in 1994. Everton Bittersing is charged with first-degree murder in the death of his 17-year-old daughter, Melanie. The girl's charred body was found in a burnt suitcase 21 years ago. In opening statements to the jury, the Crown said Melanie weighed just 50 pounds at the time of her death. She had signs of blunt force trauma and more than 21 fractures on her body. A post-mortem found she was also starved and had inhaled water before her death. Here at Humber, it's been a long time coming, but the college has now opened an LGBTQ resource center. Alex Martino was at the grand opening and has the details.
1, 2, 3, go.
The ribbon was cut today for Humber's new LGBTQ+ Resource Centre, a space that President Chris Whittaker says is the first of its kind at Ontario colleges.
I think we can be extremely proud of Humber's leadership in providing this space and this resource center for our LGBTQ community.
The impact of the centre has excited members of the LGBTQ community and moved Dean of Students Jen McMillan during her statement.
When Thomas and Maureen approached me with this proposal, I played the role of realist more than optimist, and I'm glad that I was wrong.
The centre will be led by Student Life, which Maureen Carnegie of the Gender and Sexual Diversity Committee says will be integral to community outreach.
We are going to offer the best possible services to our students, the best possible opportunities for leadership, and I think we have an excellent opportunity here to continue the efforts that the GSDC certainly has started around education and advocacy for our students.
And students agree that the new centre is a sweet arrival to North Campus.
A lot of times it can feel really lonely in the Humber community because we don't see everyone who identifies with us, and it's a lot easier when there's a meeting space where we all can collectively be together.
With the opening of the new LGBTQ Resource Centre here at North Campus, students are thrilled that they have a safe and tolerant space to show their colors. Alex Martino, Humber News.
The king of pop art, Andy Warhol's art pieces still resonate even years after the artist's heyday. Samantha Singh has more about the legendary American artist movement being brought to Toronto.
Well, because comic books make things the way they are really today. I mean, the way things happen in New York now, it's like being in a Western movie.
Andy Warhol is gracing Toronto with his presence. Revolver Gallery presents a charming pop-up exhibition at Bay and Bloor. Ron Rivlin owns Revolver Gallery and is situated in Los Angeles, but the Toronto native decided to bring his collection home.
We've got a lot of great things going for us, and this is just one of them that really gets people out into the city. Sort of art appreciation, I think, is something that every city, no matter what, can really go further in.
Andy Warhol Revisited is home to over 100 pieces, which makes it one of the largest collections of Andy Warhol originals besides the Andy Warhol Museum in Pittsburgh.
Very interesting because he originally started off as a commercial artist, doing art for mainly advertisements, and he was also kind of very much about kind of high art as well. He was just trying to really mix commercial art and, I guess, high art together.
Warhol's artwork is known to take on pop culture and make people look at it in another light, using colors and screen printing.
So from July to about October, we had one set of works, and then in October we've actually been going through the process of rehanging and reinstalling a whole bunch of new pieces. It's a good time to come down, check everything out again.
Andy Warhol Revisited will be here at Revolver until the end of this year, but exhibitionists say there will be more Warhol originals popping up in the next couple of weeks. Samantha Singh, Humber News.
Hey meow, it's National Cat Day. Our reporter Charlotte Moore Jacobs got the chance to make some new perfect friends.
Whether you like them for their catitude or kitten around, it's without a doubt that many folks worldwide will be celebrating National Cat Day today.
Okay, Amy Vanderbilt, a cat enthusiast, shared her positive experiences with the four-legged furballs.
Advantages of having a cat? Well, if you have a cat, they take care of your pest problems, and they will sit and warm your lap when you're cold, when you're watching movies, and they'll yell at you for food, so you know you're never lonely because you walk into the room and they're, hello, I'm there.
The Anthopoulos Humane Society is an independent, volunteer-run shelter helping the community for close to 30 years. All of the animals taken in receive full vet care and microchipping. Despite the day celebrating cats, Tanya Lung told Humber News that without proper pet care, owners could wind up with too much of a good thing.
And theoretically, one cat and her offspring can produce up to 420,000 cats in 7 years.
At the shelter, Zoom Zoom is also celebrating the holiday.
So far, the Anthopoulos Humane Society has adopted out around 140 cats. There's still plenty of time to come down to the shelter and adopt one of your own. I suggest you do it right now. Charlotte Moore-Jacobs, Humber News.
When we come back, we'll tell you what's happening in the world of sports, and Dominic Laschiavo will have your 3-day forecast.
Hide your kids, hide your wives, because today is going to be windy. I'll have your full 3-day forecast after the break.
But first, after years of controversy over Barbie's looks, critics are now worried about her intelligence, artificial intelligence.
You're here! This is so exciting. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun together.
Hello Barbie records the child's voice and sends it to a server that instantly interprets the dialogue and sends back a pre-recorded response. Critics say that the toy poses a threat to children's privacy since recordings are stored on a server and could be used for marketing research.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a vet.
That's wonderful. Wanting to take care of sick animals is an amazing goal.
Nonetheless, this Barbie will be saying hello to toy stores next month.